Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we'll be discussing about networking fundamentals. Many beginners try to skip networking because they want to learn Docker, Kubernetes, AWS, Terraform, Jenkins and other DevOps tools. But here's the reality, like most production issues in cloud environments eventually become networking issues. A container cannot reach a database, that is networking. A Kubernetes service is inaccessible, that is networking. EC2 instance cannot connect to internet, that is also a networking issue. So if Linux is the language of DevOps, networking is the nervous system. Everything communicates through networks only. What is network? A network is simply a collection of devices connected together so they can basically communicate. So whenever one device sends information to another device, networking is happening there. So for example, you send a WhatsApp message, your phone sends data through a network. When you watch YouTube, video travels through a network. The internet itself is nothing more than a giant network connecting billions of devices worldwide. We can understand it with the city analogy. Like imagine a city where houses represent devices, road represent the networks, and addresses represent their unique IP addresses, and car represent data packets. So if you want to send a package to your friend, you need their address. Without the address, the package cannot be delivered. And computers work exactly the same way. If your laptop wants to communicate with Google server, it must know their address. This address is called an IP address. Now, how devices communicate? Like your laptop wants to talk to a particular server. Maybe you are opening Netflix, maybe you are accessing Amazon website, maybe you are logging into a banking application. Your laptop breaks information into small pieces called packets. These packets travel across multiple networks until they reach their destination. Now notice the animation. The packet leaves the laptop, travels through network devices, eventually they reaches the server. Then the server responds, the response travel back. So every internet interaction that we do follows this basic pattern. What is an IP address? IP stands for Internet Protocol. An IP address is a unique identifier assigned to a device or a network. Think of it as the home address of a device. Example 192.168.1.10. This tells the network exactly where that device is actually located. Without IP address, computer wouldn't know where to send the data. Imagine trying to send a courier package without knowing the destination address. Similar way, we can't send data if we are not aware about the exact IP address of that device. So we have different IP protocols, like we have IPv4. So IPv4 looks like 192.168.1.10. So in this you will notice there are 4 sections separated by dots. Each section ranges from 0 to 255. This format creates billions of possible addresses. A year ago this seems more than enough. But today we have phones, we have laptops, server, IoT device, smartwatches, smart TVs, cloud resources. We have billions of devices today which are on network. So now after that the world started running out of IPv4 addresses. So that's one reason IPv6 was introduced. But for now, IPv4 remains the most common important protocol for DevOps engineer to understand. Now, what is public? What is private IP? If you're working in the networking field, you must have heard this term very often. Like this one has the public IP, this one has the private IP. So, a public IP is visible on the internet. It is visible to everyone. Anyone can communicate with it. Example, a public facing website. A private IP exists only inside a particular local network. Example, your laptop at home, it has a private IP. Your mobile phone, your smart TV, all these have a private IP inside it. So we can understand it within home network example. You have laptop, phone, smart TV, gaming console, anything, all device connected to a router. Okay, so each device gets its own private IP. Example, laptop has something 192.168.1.10 and phone has .11, TV has .12. To outside world, however, all these devices appear through a single public IP provided by your internal provider, your internet provider. To the outside world, all these devices appear through a single public IP provided by your internet provider. Okay, so all these private IPs or all these devices will connect to your router, and then router will basically take it forward with a public IP. So this basically enhances the security. And this magic is achieved by using NAT, which we'll discuss shortly. What is router? So its job is deciding where packet should go. Like we have just requested for a particular website, particular gaming console, but it is the responsibility of router where packet should go. The data which we want to send, where it should go. So imagine a large city with thousands of roads, driver needs directions. Routers provide those directions. When your laptop sends a packet to Google, the router examines the destination address and decides the best path for it. Every packet on the internet passes through multiple routers before reaching its actual destination. So without routers, the internet would not exist. What is a switch? A switch works inside a local network. A router connects different networks that we know. Now imagine an office, hundreds of computers are connected in that office. The switch allows those computers to communicate with each other efficiently. The router then connects the office network to the internet. Think of it like switch is inside the building and router for outside the building. So for inside your building, if you want to connect multiple devices internally so they can communicate internally, for that we need switch. But if you want to send it outside to the public internet, we want router for that. How data travels? Your laptop sends a request, the request reaches your router. The router forwards it to your internet service provider. Then internet service provider forwards it through multiple networks. Eventually it reaches your destination server. Notice the animation, the packet doesn't travel directly, right? It hops through multiple devices. This process is called routing. What is a port? Imagine a building. The building has many doors. The building is the IP address. Okay, consider the building as IP address. The doors are actually the ports. Multiple services can run on same server. How does the server know which service should receive incoming traffic? So ports solve this problem. So on the same server, multiple services can run, right? So on a particular port, different services, basically the different ports will be assigned to different services on the same server. So in this way, multiple services can run on a single server itself. So if you have an application and your application is running on a particular port, so the port basically helps to identify your actual application. IP defines the server on which your application is running. Now what is TCP versus UDP? So TCP is transmission control protocol and UDP is user datagram protocol. Both used to send the data. But if we want a order data where error should be checked and we can compromise on the speed because it is slightly slower, so we can go with the TCP, which is more reliable, but it is slower. If we want to basically, if we want the speed only and we do not want if any packet is lost or there is no ordering, so in that case we can go for UDP because UDP is faster than TCP. So TCP we use majorly for our websites, banking or email services. But UDP we use for your video calls where some data packets can lose in between. You can see sometimes the quality may degrade and then it enhances. So for that we can use UDP. For gaming we can use UDP. For live streaming we can use UDP. Now let's understand NAT. Remember all those devices sharing one public IP? That is NAT, Network Address Translation. NAT translates private addresses into a public addresses. Without NAT, every home devices that we use would require its own public IP if they want to basically connect to a public network. But with NAT, different private IP addresses can be converted into a single public IP address. So with this, we can still basically have multiple IPv4 addresses, private IPv4 addresses. Without NAT, it wouldn't be possible, and all those IPv4 networks must have exhausted by this time if NAT wasn't there. Now comes CIDR notation. You will see CIDR notation everywhere in AWS, Azure, Kubernetes, Terraform when you will work on DevOps technologies. So, but in networking also, it is very important to understand the CIDR notation. So, if you have an IP address like 192.168.1.0/24, this slash value determines how many addresses belong to the network. /24 usually means 256 addresses. This notation helps define network ranges efficiently. We'll dive deeper into this in our upcoming videos. Now, what is subnetting? So subnetting is when we divide one giant network into smaller networks called subnet. For example, we have development subnet, we have testing subnet, production subnet, and database subnet. So for our different websites, we have different subnets defined. This improves organization security and scalability. Cloud providers heavily rely on subnetting. Every AWS VPC you will create later, when we'll go further in this tutorial, will contain multiple subnets. We'll see that. Now comes DNS, domain name service. Human prefer naming convention, but computer prefer IP addresses. So to fill this gap, DNS comes into the picture. So when you type google.com, you know that you want to go to the Google website. But the network does not know about this English translation. They do not know what is Google. So DNS converts it into a particular IP address that network can understand. So without DNS, we would have to memorize IP addresses for every website, and then we will have to search for IP addresses manually instead of writing google.com, facebook.com, flipkart.com. Okay. So imagine, so DNS makes the internet human friendly. So that is all about networking fundamentals. I hope now you get all the basic networking fundamentals, and we'll cover more interesting topic in our upcoming videos. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.